Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm your host Veteran Mountain Man and it's another Prepared Monday. Now I've been noticing a little bit online that a lot of new preppers are kind of confused about the difference between sustainable and completely off the grid. So I want to break it down a little bit for you. Alright, it actually boils down to a couple of fairly simple basics. When you're running a sustainable land management program or a sustainable plot, you don't necessarily separate yourself from all public utility services, okay? What you're doing is you're creating an environment where the land itself literally pays for everything it needs. And it does that either through natural production or it does that through the ability for you to produce things and sell in order to pay the necessary required issues. A case in point would be, say you purchased 20 acres and you produced enough extra food on that 20 acres to pay for your property taxes, the cost of producing all the food, and any maintenance or upkeep you need to do for the equipment to do all that food production. That would make that piece of property sustainable or self-sustaining. Now, it would not necessarily mean that that property is completely off the grid. Off the grid means disconnected from all public services completely. Now, in some states, that's nearly impossible to do unless you buy unimproved, untouched land or semi-untouched land. Because in many locations, you're going to have public water no matter what, and you're going to have access to public power and a lot of times even cable or phone. And part of this is because of the wide expanding reach of the United States to kind of modernize all its services, even for its most remote citizenry, which, to be fair, is a very, very noble thing, but it's not necessarily what all of us in this day and age want. So you have to kind of be careful about a lot of this. So the first thing you should always do before looking at a property to set up either a bug-out location or maybe even a permanent retreat from society is decide exactly how far you want to go with it. Do you want to create a self-sustaining environment, or do you want to create a completely off-the-grid environment? Because each one will entail different requirements, and each one will function a little bit differently. A facility that is completely off the grid using geothermal, for example, is going to have different requirements than a facility that's off the grid that's using solar in Arizona. You're going to have different methods of being able to get power. You're going to have different times when power is at a peak comparatively. And you're going to have to store that power no matter what you do. So there's going to be some similarities. There's going to be some differences. And even self-sustaining versus off the grid, you're going to see some similarities and some differences. In fact, both of them have more similarities than not, which is why I think there's some of this confusion coming about. But you want to make sure that you're using the right terms. You want to make sure that everybody knows what you're talking about. So remember, self-sustaining pays for itself but isn't disconnected from public services necessarily. Off the grid is completely devoid of public services. Most of them are self-sustaining. Well, I want to thank you all again for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube, or thumbs up and subscribe to me on BitChute. There's a link down below if you don't know what BitChute is. Also, don't forget you can contribute to my channel, which allows me to do more video work and even do some more public type videos. And as always, have yourself a beautiful day.